Hi, this is Professor Lusheen, and what I'm doing is I'm going to record a video here for you to watch in order to introduce to you both the beginning part of the technique, but also show you Microsoft Excel. So as you can see on my screen, I have the D2L page for Lecture 9, and I will be posting this video and maybe even some other videos that I want you to watch, and I want you to try some things out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the data set. And I'm going to show you some things that we need to know how to do when we're working with Microsoft Excel. First, let's just look at some of the details we have here. All the columns are by letter, all the rows are by number, and an important thing is when you're going to type in a range of something, don't rely on the numbering or the headers of a form on a page. You always have to use what defines the document. So the outermost letters and the numbers. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got 2008 300 log, it's hours, 2009 log, it's hours, and so on and so forth, all the way up through 2012. The first thing I want to show you to do is how to copy and paste to a new page. Because one rule with what we're going to be doing is we do not want to affect our original data. If we do that and then we mess something up, then we have nothing to go back to. You have to start all over again. And so we want to be able to copy and paste things. And so I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. And there's two ways to look at it. One is going to be a little bit more complex. The other is going to be simple. So first, if you see the cursor, and if I think if I kind of do this with a page, you can see it better. But down here on the bottom, you see this little insert worksheet. If I click on that, I get a fresh new worksheet, and it puts it just to the side of the last sheet. What I'd like to do is, if you want to copy an entire page, and the reason you'd want to do that is that it brings over all the line spacing and everything that goes with it. You come up to the upper left-hand corner and you see the cursor go up into the corner here. If I click on it, it highlights the entire page. Now what I can do multiple things. One is I could right-click and do copy. But what I like to do is I like to do Control C for copy, and it's something you can do. So I did it with the right click here, and you can see it kind of highlights this whole page. I click on over to sheet 1, and I'm on cell A1. I can do the right click and the paste, and look at it brought everything over for me. So now I have the original, but now what I can do is I can start doing sorting and moving things around, and um, I'm not messing up the original, okay? So now that I've shown you the copy and paste on how to open a new thing, you double click, I'll do that again. Put the cursor over the tab, double click, and it highlights it, and then I can type in whatever I'm going to do. So 2008 analysis or something of that order, okay? So what I want to do is show you a few initial things that you're going to want to do when you start playing with the individual logs, and I'll show you how to combine them in a different video. So one of the first things we can do is we want to be able to count what is in a range. And so there's nothing clicked here for, and no deaths occurred in 2008. But when I click down here in the column totals here, and you can probably see up here, it's going to show up there as well. I'm going to try and get this close as I can. I want to add up all of the X marks. So what we can do is we can type in something and it'll count it for us. Or we could just put in a 3. I mean, that would be acceptable. But when there's a lot there, another way to do it is type in equal. Whenever you type in equal now, Excel is thinking, what equation do you want me to use? Or what do you want me to calculate? In this case, we're going to do one called count if. You can see it here when I type in count if, it already starts giving me some information here. What is count ifs? Counts the number of cells specifically given set of conditions. Okay, I'm going to have to learn how to use that. But for this, count if, parentheses, and I got to give it a range and a criterion. This is very important. A range is a column and cell, and then a colon, and then another column and row to designate a cell. So in this case, I could do it physically. I can go up here, click and drag, and it gave me I-20 to I-40. See, we're in column I, and it starts at row 20, and then it goes all the way down to I-40. So I can do it that way, or if I want to type it in, I can just go I-20 colon I-40. 40, and do you see how it lit it all up? So now it's saying in that range, what's the criteria? And if it's a number, you just put in the number. But if it's something that's typed in, we got to put in parentheses. I'm going to put in an X, finish it off, hit return. It gave me a 3. So with something small like this, it's fairly easy to do the counting. And there's 3 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. Okay? Or I can click on here, and do you see on the bottom right hand corner of the cell that I'm clicked on, when I run the cursor over it, it turns from this, I don't know, a big white cross. Do we call that a cross? And then when I go over it, it turns into a thin black cross. Now, if I left click here and move it over, it's going to copy and paste my original equation. See how the equation up here, count if I20 to I40? If I click here, it's now count if J20 to J40. And then if I click here, it's count if K20 to K40. Because what Excel does is, if you do this and then you copy and paste, it moves it around. See, down here now, it's 22 to 42, because when I dragged it down, it moves the orientation. I'll double click so you can see it moved it that way. So that's just something that I want you to be aware of. I just need to get rid of this now because I don't want it there. Okay. And one thing we always want to be doing is checking our work, because sometimes people put too many X's in these boxes. Over here we have a count, but let's say the stuff wasn't here. I'm going to clear it out. I highlight it, clear contents. I want to count how many things are here. Here's something else we can do. We can go 1, 2, 3, and then we can highlight it, and what Excel will do, we're going to just do the same click and drag, but what it does is it repeats or continues the pattern. And it got me all the way to 21. So there's 21, and what I can do to check it is I can also add all these up, and here's something else we can do. We can go equals sum, S-U-M, parentheses, and then I can either click on these 3, or I could type in the range, hit return, and it's 21. So we got 21, 21, everything is accounted for, we're good. We can use this same sum when we're adding up numbers like here. So equals sum, and I can either click and drag, or I can do L20 to L40, and you see how it lit up everything I want. I can put the other parentheses, but it'll fill it in for me, and then I can click and drag it over. And you see here, it moved it into M20, M40. So I've now, well, I think what I could, another thing you can do is you can click on what you have here. I can copy it, put it here, and paste it, and it transfers it over. And I can drag this over if I wanted to. Oh, it didn't do something. Why didn't it count if? Why didn't that work? Oh, because I typed it in. I gotta do the count if, and this is N20 to N40. I forgot that I typed it in. Excuse me about that. And there. So I've now completed, drag that over more, I've added up what's here in this table. I've done it 2 different ways. You can go up there and count the stuff and add it by hand, but I think it's easier if we do the count if and the sum here in order to get our totals. So what I'd like you to do is you should practice on this. So we can, again, here, equals count if, and then it is I20 to I44. If you can see, it goes all the way down to 44 here, comma, quotation mark, X, and I get 5. I drag them over to here. I have a total of 25, which does match up there. I can copy and paste it over here, and I also get 25. That means all these are going to be zeros. And then this is the equal, the sum, and why don't I drag it? Click, drag all the way down to the bottom, hit return, and drag that over. So I've completed it. I've got everything I need to know here. I mean, if these numbers on the side weren't here, I could make sure that they equal out, but they do. So what I'd like you to do is, well, from what I just showed you, what I want you to do is practice the copy and paste. I'd like you to practice the count if and the sum, and I'd like you to do the click and drag and see what happens, and I'll be creating another video for the next step.